Leather jackets are amazing. The utility of leather jackets is just truly great. So certain things that you want to think about when it comes to buying a leather jacket is what you need to use it for. A lot of the time, leather jackets like this are really useful for kind of the in-between moment. It's like, it's a little bit chilly, but not too chilly. Then you can throw something on like this. It's a cowhide. It's a fairly mid-weight kind of cowhide. It won't overheat you, especially with the lack of filling in the lining. It's just one plain piece of lining covering the leather. Looks good. Bomber jacket style. You got the ribbed knit at the bottom. If you want something lighter, you might consider a lambskin. Lambskin's going to be much less durable than cowhides, or pretty much any leather, really. Goat skin's going to be more durable than a lambskin as well, but those are all going to be heavier than this. This is insanely light. This is like probably, you know, like you can probably make a windbreaker out of lambskin leather because that's how light it is. It's still going to be a little bit heavier than actual windbreakers, of course, but if you just wanted a style leather in warmer months, this is the way to go. Nylon lining, this is going to last virtually forever, especially if you get the right sizes. The reason why this jacket here became torn on the inside is highly because of the way that I wore it. It's because it's a size small and my body legitimately stretched this out. You should never really, I was gonna say you should never really expect a jacket to stretch out, a leather one, but I would say, especially if you're looking at these kind of brands like Banana Republic, Gap, they're gonna use leathers that will stretch, and that doesn't make them cheaper. A lot of high-end companies have leathers that will stretch, like Shot, but it depends on the kind of leather and the jacket that you're buying, how the leather was dyed, what kind of animal it came from. So something like a buffalo or a horse, these won't stretch. They will form to your body. They'll show off certain features, but ultimately you need to size correctly in most leather jackets. Jackets like this, cowhide, where you can feel the temper is a bit more pliable, a little bit stretchier feeling. I don't really feel it stretch necessarily, but you can kind of tell based on how materials feel, especially if you have enough experience in leathers. So that's why I got this one at this size. It's stretched out basically to what I would consider perfect dimensions, but of course it took the hit of getting that damage on the inside of the arm there, which I'll eventually repair. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal to have torn lining. That's not really going to do anything to me. Like, it's just, you know, I'm never going to notice it really, but I will fix it at some point. The tearing is pretty much exclusively because of the stitching. The stitching basically tore at it because this material, it is super strong. It's an acetate nylon. It should not really tear like this. It really will not rip unless something penetrates it or tears it like the stitching did. And if you want a heavier duty jacket, this one isn't even really super hefty. It is a cowhide. It's a heavier temper than this. It's less pliable than the Banana Republic bomber jacket. And it also has this kind of brown undertone, which looks very nice. As it's starting to wear out, this top coat of the brown is darker and it's wearing into a lighter brown. That's amazing. I love stuff like that about leather. Sherpa collar is cool, looks good. It would have been nice to have the Sherpa throughout the whole thing, just like my Wrangler Sherpa jacket. However, this poly-filled acetate is very nice. The acetate just feels so luxurious. The lining is fine, it's not stretched out. My size plus enough to layer, so there's ample room in here. I wear this in the winter and the fall. Whenever you're looking for jackets, you want to find as few panels of leather as possible. This one has 2 large back panels, no side panels. So it's 2 large back panels that connect to the front panels. Those are just some little details to think about because your jacket will look a little bit more quality with less panels. Even though two of my jackets, three of them actually, have this line here, right? The only one that doesn't is the bomber jacket. And I personally don't think these jackets look cheap, except maybe the lambskin one kind of looks like it could be cheap, but it certainly doesn't look luxurious. But these other three, or I guess these two with the lines on there, they don't look cheap to me, especially because they're just intentionally designed that way. When something looks intentional, it doesn't look cheap. But if something looks like it's made because they wanted to cheap out, it looks cheap. Imagine that. And this lambskin jacket has open cuffs, so there's no cinching factor to that. Something to think about. With cuffs like this, you need the right size sleeve so that it falls at the right place. Number 7, left-handed side YKK zipper. Most jackets use a number 5. This interestingly uses a number 7, even though it's the lightest jacket I have, lightest leather jacket. A lot of people will say zippers on the left side are indicative of a female jacket, and that is not true. In the US, that may be true in many cases, but in Europe, this is fairly standard to have the zipper pull on the left side. And I don't know, it's weird that people complain that it's somehow more difficult if it's on the left side. I've literally never had an issue with zipper pulls being on this side or on this side. I do prefer it on the right, but the left is fine. In certain ways, you can make jackets your own too. These chest parts used to actually pucker up a bit. Like whenever I'd have it zipped, especially if I was like sitting down, these would open up and just pucker out both sides of the chest, and it just looked ridiculous because there was no closing mechanism at the top. But I did add in hook and loop, some Velcro, so that the pockets stay closed and don't start puckering. And the same thing with the sleeves on this one. I actually had to pull the sleeve out from there, and it gave me like about a 1/2 inch on this side, and then toward the end it gave me about 1 inch more of length. So it's not even even on each side, but it looks good. And actually I feel like that's kind of how a sleeve should be styled, to be honest, because as I mentioned, this is a size small and the sleeves were too short. But there was enough extra material on the inside for me to pull it out and have a little bit of an extension there. This jacket has a number 5 YKK zipper, which is less beefy than the lambskin jacket, but number 5s do typically work for jackets like this. A lot of vintage and reproduction military bomber jackets will use number 5 zips, though I do recommend a heavier zip if you're using horsehide leather. But yeah, with all that said, leather jackets, amazing. You can find all kinds of different ones. I feel like most people would probably prefer just a cowhide, standard kind of bomber jacket. So if you can find something like this is a staple. Choose whatever color you like most. Black goes with just about anything, but some people find black jackets hard to style. So maybe choose like a brown. They even made this in a brown. This is another Y2K jacket. Much like, I think all 3 of these, 2 Gap, 1 Banana Republic, all 3 of these are around the Y2K era, early 2000s. And the jackets around that time from these kind of like fashion brands are good jackets, in my opinion, from what I've seen and from my experience. I've owned other jackets as well. I've owned higher end jackets too, like shot jackets and stuff like that. And like Johnson, I think Johnson Leathers maybe is what it's called. And to me, the quality is not about the brand, it's about the construction, the materials used. So if you find a jacket that's well constructed, that's all you need. I mean, this is from China, you know, China. I don't really go for Chinese made stuff all the time, but it's not like they don't make good stuff in China. This is an amazing jacket, and leather jackets in general are amazing. You should definitely pick one up.